So hello everybody and welcome. Yes, welcome and welcome back to BSN Network here today. I'm back with another video for you guys, and hopefully everybody else had a good rest of their day yesterday. Sorry I did not get a pod in. I had some issues with getting it uploaded, finishing the video. Something went wrong with my camera, so I'm sorry. And yes, I am a broadcaster, but I don't have the highest quality of a camera, I'll tell you that. So forgive me if sometimes I have a day off or I don't have a day off, but if I don't post a video, it's probably because of my camera, because it sometimes will freeze and then it's not videotaping me. And, sometimes things happen, so forgive me if some days I'm off. It's probably because of that. It's because of that most of the times. But today I am back, and if it happens again today, or if it happens for continuous days, I'm gonna have to look into getting another camera, because it freezes a lot, and especially then, then everything doesn't work. If it freezes, then my video won't make it, and then nothing will work. So please, stick with me if I miss a day because of that. It's not my fault. It's just how the camera is. And, so let's get into it anyway. So we got the 49ers, Raiders, college football, NFL, Nets, Knicks, Rangers. Huge weekend in college football. I may spend only a few minutes on the 49ers game, although I got a lot to talk about in that game. But I want to talk about college football because this is the biggest weekend in college football. And this is actually the weekend where Alabama may get beaten. This is the only weekend, I think, besides the Texas A&M weekend, like 5-6 weeks ago. This may be the only week that Alabama actually gets beaten. So I'm happy for it. I'm gonna be watching all the games. And with NFL, I'm gonna talk about the Jets. Jets need a win. Okay, if they fall to 3-6, they're not going to. They're done. Their playoff hopes are still a little bit alive. Not much, but they're a little bit alive, because they have to win this game, because then they can win against the Bills 5-5. Okay, if they win against the Bills, they're 5-5. Then they head away, I'm pretty sure, to play the Titans or something. That could be a win, 6-5. But then you have the Patriots twice, and it's gonna look messy. Messy if they don't win today. Their record, they may fall to like 4-12 or 3-13 or 5-11 again on the season. They may only find 2 games to win. But if they win today, 5-5, I think I'm already predicting it. I think they beat the Bills. But let's get into it here, because I want to spend time on that, and I don't want to waste time talking about this. So anyway, the 49ers won into yesterday's game. A lot of people did not think that 49ers would so much win the game, but win it this big. I think people thought they could win the game, because this was, looking back in the beginning of the season, they probably put this as a Thursday night game, because you actually have to think about it. Both teams this season were expected to do pretty good. 49ers were expected to do great. With Garoppolo coming there, Sherman, they were actually expected to do pretty good. And then things happen and teams fall apart. That's why it's so hard to predict the season. You never know. I predicted the score yesterday to be 35-17. Relatively close. Not too far. Instead, 31 point win. Okay. I predicted this game to be 35-17 yesterday. It turns into 34-3. Right. I'll tell you what. It is insane how great Tyler Mullins did yesterday. And I have to admit, I always say it, first starts for quarterbacks are usually always good, because the other team doesn't have film on them. They don't. But I think Tyler Mullins could be a superstar. Honestly, they have the Giants next week, Monday Night Football. That beginning of the season could have been another primetime game. They've looked good all season long, the Niners. They've been in pretty much every game they've played. I'll tell you what, they've literally been in every game they've played. Here, let me go through their schedule for you. Their first game, they lost 24-16. That's 1 touchdown. That's 8 points they lost by. That's a score and a 2-point conversion. That's easy, right? Not easy, but that's possible. 30-27, they win. Okay, they win that game. 49ers fans are expecting, 1-1. That's where we're supposed to be at right now. 38-27 against the Chiefs. Honestly, they pushed the Chiefs. They made the Chiefs fight. I mean, they did not make the Chiefs win the game easily. 29-27 against the Chargers. That's possibly 2-2 right now. 28-18 loss against the Cardinals. Cardinals are a beatable team. Maybe if they played a little bit better, they could have won. You're sitting at 2-3. 49ers, Packers, they gave up the lead. Drop ball, end game, messed them up. Okay, they could be sitting at 3-3. They lose Rams. Don't want to talk about that game. That's not a game for 49ers fans to even talk about. That's 3-4. Okay, 18-15 against the Cardinals. That's 3 points. They lose by 3 points. That's a field goal. Okay, they're sitting at 4-4 right now. Okay, 34-3, they win. They're sitting at 5-4 right now if they would have pulled off some of those games. 5-4, and not a bad playoff spot, honestly. Not a bad playoff position. 5-4, you win 2-3 more games, you're sitting at 8-4, 8-5, 9-5. You're sitting at a decent wild card playoff record, right? Instead, they're 2-7, and they just beat the Raiders. Okay, instead they're 2-7. This is what's happening to the Browns and the 49ers. The Browns, they could right now be easily 6-2. Instead, they're 2-5 and 1. Okay, this is happening to the Browns also. Okay, this is sort of happening to the Jets. Jets could right now easily be 4-4. That Vikings game, yeah, the score looked like it wasn't a good game, 37-17. Yeah, it didn't look like a good game, but I'll tell you what, Jets held them. It was second half and their offense fell apart. Okay, Jets-Bears game, yeah, it looked like a 24-10 game. Yeah, it looked like, oh gosh, they lost by 2 touchdowns. Jets were in that game. It was 7-3 going into halftime. The Jets were in that game. Jets could be sitting at, 6-2 right now. I mean, that's a little far off. 5-3 right now. 2 losses possibly, could have been 2 wins. Browns, and it's happening to a lot of teams this year, and a lot of more teams could be in the playoff. Instead, you have a few teams: Rams, Chiefs, Patriots. Right? You have the Redskins out of the blue. Redskins. I mean, I honestly am happy the Redskins winning that division. I don't like many teams in the NFC East. I'm not a big fan of the Eagles, although I did root for them in the Super Bowl because I just hate the Patriots. Not a big fan of the the Giants. Not a big fan. I don't really like them, actually. I'm not a big fan. And I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys a little bit. I like the Cowboys a little bit. I do like Elliott and Prescott. I like Prescott a little more than Elliott. I think Prescott's got a bright future ahead of him. I think he'll win at least 1 or 2 Super Bowls. He's versatile too. He can run, pass, do whatever he wants. He's a good quarterback, and he's lost some of his assets, and still they're playing half decent. He's lost Dez Bryant. They picked up Amari Cooper, who's having a tough season. Okay, so the Niners here win. They head to the Giants next week. They come home, play the Giants. I'll tell you what. That's going to be a fun game. A Monday Night Football. I think the Niners have a really great chance of winning that game. Then they head away to the Buccaneers, which is a winnable game. Then they come away against the Seahawks. I don't think that's a winnable game. Seahawks have been actually playing half decent. Home against the Broncos, that's going to be a weird game. Okay, Broncos are struggling, but it's weird. Broncos have been struggling the past few seasons, but it's like they have a good team. They just can't put a season together. That's what I think the Broncos are. Trading Demaryius Thomas, and then they're home against the Seahawks. I think that's a loss. Possibly the Bears lost, Rams, of course, lost, and then that's their game. So I think they end the season now 5-11, which is a promising season. I think a few seasons ago they were 2-14. That's not good. Okay, so now we're gonna head into college football. So for the Raiders, Jon Gruden is Jon Gruden. He's John Gruden. My personal opinion, I think he should have just stayed in broadcasting. I think that's what he should have done. I think it made no sense for him to leave.
No, not now. I spent many years of my life squeezing stuff like this into my mouth.
I think that the players aren't playing for him, right? The players don't like him. Players aren't playing for him, and when a player doesn't play for your coach, like, this is the great thing. The Jets players are playing for Todd Bowles. I think the Jets, there's an interview. I think the Jets players like Todd Bowles. They do. They like him. Right? Let me just give you an example. Jets like Todd Bowles. Their players like Todd Bowles. Right? Look how they're playing. They're in every game. The Jets are in every game. The problem, I'll tell you an interesting stat. I probably told you this already because I think about it every time the Jets come on. Jets last year could have been 11-5 if the games were 3 quarters. That means about most of the season going into the fourth quarter, they are they are winning, right? So they have 11 wins and 5 losses in the third quarter. So last year they were only down 5 times in the third quarter last year, which is pretty good out of the 16 games they play. So it's going to be interesting. And then the Raiders aren't playing for their coach. The Raiders got a lot of problems. They're struggling, and this is going to be a rebuild. And I think John Gruden knows it's going to be a rebuild. I think John Gruden came into the Raiders saying, I'm going to strip down. He gave away Khalil Mack, right? Got first-round picks. He's gave away some Amari Cooper, got first-round picks. They've gotten so many first-round picks, I think they're just ready for a rebuild. So, rookies, I guess, in the Raiders land is a way to go. Now let's get... It's going to be an interesting game, but it's going to be an interesting season for the Raiders. I know they're already 1-7, 8 games in. They're at the Chargers next week, and to me, the Raiders games aren't even close. I think they've lost a big 20-point games already this season. Their games aren't even close, and that's what I think frustrating to the Raiders and to most of the teams out there. So here we go. This is a huge week. First, we're going to kick it off. UCF won 52-40 the last game. So you all know I'm a Miami fan. Miami's struggling this season. They're really struggling. They're 5-3. They're really struggling, and it's So Baylor lost. West Virginia won 50-40. So I gotta get to this week's games. Okay, here we go. All right. So today at 7:30 we got Pitt, Virginia. Virginia takes that game. Let me go to some of the marquee matchup games. Some of the games I think could pull off upset. So here it is. Hold up. Just got to pull up the website to get all the playoff rankings and standings. So according to my sports app, so here it is. So let's get into it. So here we go. So we got the first game coming in at, of course, Virginia, Pittsburgh. That I think Virginia will win. Virginia this season is ranked number 25. I think they'll win. So now I'm going to move into some of the marquee matchup games. More of the games that I think mean something. Kentucky, Georgia. This is going to be such a good game. Kentucky versus Georgia. Kentucky this year with that Snead running back, their new quarterback. And I was actually, last night, I was having dinner, and a person asked me, remember last year, I thought Kentucky was so bad. And I was like, well, yeah, they were. Their basketball team was their powerhouse, and their basketball team still is their powerhouse. They're 2 losses. They're ranked 2. And he was saying how, and he was like, how did they well, how do they work? And I'm like, well, they got a few new freshmen, and they're coming together. This Kentucky team's coming together. Georgia, of course, that big win against Florida. I have to admit, I want Kentucky to win this game. I think Georgia will win, but I feel like Kentucky has an upset in them, and if Kentucky wins this game, I mean, this is going to be insane. Kentucky, I'm pretty sure. So it's Kentucky is home, so that stadium's going to be pumping, and I really think that since Kentucky's home, I'm going to give Kentucky the win. Yes, I'm going to give Kentucky the win. Kentucky's going to win. I say it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a defensive game, 24 to 21. It's going to be come down to the final 3 seconds. They're going to kick a field goal. Kentucky is going to win the game. Okay. West Virginia, Texas, beginning of the season. I mean, you didn't think this game was going to be big. More onto the season, win against Oklahoma. You thought this game was going to be big. Then they lose last week against Oklahoma State. This game's a little bit smaller than it really should have been. 17-ranked Texas versus 13-ranked West Virginia. This game could have been possibly a 5th-ranked Texas versus a 9th-ranked West Virginia. I say Texas. I don't know if they're going to be able to rebound out for that loss. I think Texas is going to win this game, though. I say I'll give them the win. It's going to be a high-scoring game. 35-31 is going to be the score. Okay, it's going to be both defenses have power. Both teams have powerful offenses, and I think they're going to come out and win this game. I'm not going to do the Boston College. Penn State, Michigan. Okay. This is a huge game. Okay. This is a game where Penn State could come back into the rankings and actually be a candidate. If Penn State wins this game by more than 20 points, I say they're back in the top 10. Right? Penn State this season has gotten no respect. Okay. They won a game, and I think they dropped 2 spots because they won against a lower graded team. But they dropped 2 spots, right? They dropped 2 spots. If Penn State wins this game, their upcoming schedule, I'm pretty sure they got Rutgers, maybe Illinois, maybe Indiana. Some teams that are all right? They have Rutgers coming up. Rutgers, okay? Rutgers. Okay, Rutgers, I think they're going to get blown out by Wisconsin. Penn State, Michigan. I want to say, I really think Michigan's going to win this game, but I'm cheering for Penn State, okay? I'm going to cheer for Penn State. I'm cheering for Penn State. Michigan's home. That crowd's going to be wild. Just give me Penn State. I'm not going to name a score. I'm not even going to name a score for this game because I just don't know. Okay, I want Penn State to win, so I'm going to say they're going to win. I'm really not going to give a score. This is just a toss-up for me. I think both teams have I honestly think Penn State's better than a 14th ranked team. I really do. They really are. I mean, they took Ohio State to the 4th quarter. I mean, they've taken every team pretty much to. They've taken their 2 losses have been coming into about the 4th quarter. I'm gonna have to admit I don't really know here. I think Penn State's just as good as Michigan, and that's the thing. Penn State, even though Michigan's ranked 5th, I really think Penn State could be ranked 5th right now. They're sitting at 8-0. Their Penn State could be winning the games. I'm gonna wait for this game for the end. Are there any actually other? No, this is it. So Alabama, LSU. LSU's gonna be home 8 o'clock. That crowd's gonna be rumbling like it hasn't rumbled before. Alright, that crowd's gonna be insane. That stadium's going to be rocking. It's going to be rocking back and forth. You're going to probably feel it shaking. It's going to be insane, that stadium. LSU is home. Alabama comes into town. And whenever Alabama comes into an away team, they always draw a big crowd. 90% of it to watch Alabama. So like when Michigan comes into Rutgers, everybody's just going to be there to watch Michigan, right? So here it is. Alabama, LSU. LSU has got a great team. Alabama has got a great team. Remember the beginning of this season? everybody said LSU is going to have a really weird season. They're going to be like, rebuild, not rebuild. They won their first game against Miami, and it kind of sprung since that. I think their first game they won 38-3 or 38-10, and ever since that, Miami's just fell in a hole. So LSU is ranked number 3. I want LSU to stomp Alabama. I don't like Alabama at all. I don't like Nick Saban. I don't like Tua. Okay, I don't like him. I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Tua, in my opinion. I think he can run better, Jalen Hurts, but, I like Jalen Hurts better too. I don't like Nick Saban. I've never did like Nick Saban. I don't like him. I don't like that team to begin with. I don't even like any of their sports, okay? Whenever they come into town sometimes to play Kentucky, I remember they played Kentucky in the March Madness, I'm pretty sure. It was the SEC tournament. And I remember they played Kentucky, and I was just like, oh, come on, Kentucky, just destroy them. I'm a Kentucky fan. So I really think this is a game where if you are Alabama or LSU, this is a toss-up for me. I'm going to give LSU the win. I think it's going to be a medium-scoring game. I give LSU the win 28-27. I think it's going to come down to a game where somebody's going to kick a field goal, and that's going to kick them in the butt. Okay, so Alabama, this is how the scoring is going to go. Alabama may take a lead. Okay, 3-0. 3-10, 17, and then they're going to get 20, and then they're just going to settle for the regular extra point. It's going to be like 27-21 with like 3 minutes left. I think LSU is going to somehow string a drive, get downfield, win 28-27. I want LSU to win, so I think it's going to be hard. Yes, it will. Alabama's still 14-point favorites, but I think LSU still has a chance. Oklahoma, Texas Tech, I think that's an Oklahoma win, but I pretty much, Notre Dame, of course, versus Northwestern. I think Notre Dame easily got that game. I'm just going through more of the marquee matchup games. Florida State, this is sort of a marquee matchup. Florida State wins this game. There's a chance they're 5-4. They're getting to a bowl game. Syracuse ranked 19th, 6-2 on the season. It's pretty crazy for Syracuse here to be this good. And this season has been pretty crazy for Syracuse. Knowing with coming into the season, they really weren't expecting to do all that. And then now, look at them. Well, that's what we got. That's what we got for college football. So we welcome you back here on the pod. So NFL. Now, NFL. Tell you what, NFL is pretty interesting this week. There's a lot of games I feel like that are toss-ups, and I know it's getting annoying me saying that word, but there's a lot of games here that could go either way. I really think the Jets-Dolphins game could go either way. I don't like how that is. So here we go. So, of course, with the win yesterday for the 49ers. Now we move into Falcons-Redskins. Redskins coming into this game with a great so far start. Okay, I give Redskins the win. I think Falcons are not that great. Okay, Falcons are struggling this season. Redskins have all the momentum coming off of, I think, 3 straight wins. Redskins give me the win. Vikings-Lions. This is a pretty easy one. I think Vikings are going to come off the win. I think the Lions are a little flat. I think without Golden Tate, they're going to be a little flat. Now their only really key asset is Jones-Drew. Give me Vikings. Steelers-Ravens. This is going to be one of those games where Steelers, I think this week in NFL and college, it's going to matter on home field advantage. Okay, Ravens have the home field advantage. You know that place is going to be popping. You know that the Steelers are going to come into that place being hated, booze, which may bring them down. I say Ravens win this game. They have a better defense, and the Steelers still have not proven that they're a valuable team. I think, although I don't want this to happen because I do have James Conner on my fantasy team, I think Ravens will find a way to limit James Conner. I still think James Conner may score 1 or 2 touchdowns, but I still think they're going to limit James Conner and not have him get 32 points in fantasy instead. So Chiefs versus Browns. This is a game. If the Browns win this game, I'll tell you what. I don't think Hugh Jackson may want to just quit watching TV because I'm sure he's going to watch this game. So, I give the Chiefs a win. I think this is going to be one of these games where they're just going to blow them out. I think the Browns are not going to be able to stop Kareem Hunt, Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, all those players. They're not going to be able to stop them. Chiefs blowout win. Jets Dolphins, going to talk about that game. Bears Bills. It's going to be a weird game. I think Bills coming off of a solid game. Okay, New England's game, the Bills did not play bad. Here's the problem. Bills could not get any offense. If the Bills would have scored some of those drives, it could have been a 25-23 game, 25-24 game. You know, it could have been. That defense played insane. The Bills probably played. If the Bills play that football every single game, I feel like that's what the Jets do, and it annoys me. I feel like the Jets all season just get prepared for the New England Patriots. I feel like the New England Patriots all season long, they're just like, oh guys, it's okay if we lose this week, as long as we're getting prepared for New England. It's like, are you kidding me? I feel like if the Bills play that good every game, they could be right now sitting at 6-2. Buccaneers Panthers. This is going to be an interesting game. Fitzmagic, I guess you can call him. That lasted 2 weeks. He's back in. I think he's going to be their starter. They're probably going to get rid of Winston because I think this is his final year on his rookie contract. So I think that they can either sign him again, but I think if Fitzpatrick keeps what he's doing, then easily sign Fitzy and let go Winston. So Buccaneers, Panthers, I think Panthers are going to win this game. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think, only because of the Buccaneers and Fitzpatrick. Seahawks, Chargers, Seahawks have been all right. You know, yeah, if their defense was as good as last year, they could be a playoff contender, but I give the Seahawks the win. I think this is going to be a close game, a low-scoring game. 14-10 maybe, a field goal or two win. Okay, these games are going to be close. Texans, Broncos, this is a really, really interesting game. I think Broncos with their good defense, okay. Of course, they're all right on the season. I think Texans, though, Deshaun Watson have made this comeback 3-5 right now. They're sitting at a good record. They're pretty good. I think they're third in the division. Deshaun Watson has found his groove. Will Fuller, of course, is on the IR, though. Will Fuller is on the IR, so he's out for this game. If you do have him on fantasy, I did just drop him. IR usually means they're done for the season. So he's probably done. He's really only main target and been his main target all season, DeAndre Hopkins. So Deshaun Watson's got to go to DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm sure they'll have their number one cornerback on DeAndre. So it's going to be interesting. I say Texans win this game. Yeah, they're in the Big Mile High City, but I really think Texans win. Rams, Saints. This is going to be a very, very good game. Rams versus Saints. It coming in 6-1, 8-0. Rams, great team. Saints, great team. Rams win the game. I just think Rams are too good. Packers, Patriots, Sunday night game. All right. I think it's obvious. I think it's very obvious that the Packers are a team that's going through a little rebuild. Okay, they were in that game last week. Mike McCarthy got some problems. He said to the punter, purposely not run it, take a knee. He said to the kick returner, take a knee. So then he could put Aaron Rodgers out there. Instead, Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty sure, let the ball. But you want to know something with Todd Gurley? He could have scored a touchdown. Instead, he fell because he wanted to let the time go. Okay? So, Packers, Patriots. I say Patriots win. Okay, I want the Packers to win. I hate both teams, but I think Patriots will win. Cowboys, Titans. Cowboys are home. I have Cowboys defenses. I trust the Cowboys. Titans coming off of a tough loss. Give me the Cowboys. Okay? We're going to head into the Jets now and highlight their game. They play tomorrow against the Dolphins. Okay, the Jets here are. I really hope the Jets can win this game. They're playing against the Dolphins. Okay, they're playing against Osweiler. Osweiler has actually played pretty good, I have to admit. I'm going to give the Jets a win. I think the Jets have that valuable offense. I think there's a valuable offense, that great team in them. I really think that the Jets are going to win this game, and they really got to snap this losing streak, because I go to the game next week against the Bills, and I'll tell you what, if I go to that game and I see a bad Jets team, I'm going to be a little frustrated. So hopefully they can move to 4-5 win a very winnable game next week against the Bills. Here's the Jets' remaining schedule. Okay, here it is. They're playing against the Dolphins. Then they're home against the Bills. Then they're home against the Patriots. Then they're away against the Titans. Home away against the Bills. Home against the Texans. Home against the Packers. Away against the Patriots. I think this is how they're going to go. They're going to win. Okay, 5-5. Lose, win, 6-6. Win, lose. I think they finish 8-8. I think they finish a solid 8-8 on the season. I don't think they make the playoffs, but this is a very, very good way to end the season. I think they string a few games. I don't think they win either of the Patriots game. I feel like Patriots are going to outsmart the Jets. Jets, smart team. I think the Jets win this game, though. I think the Jets will find a way to let Brock Osweiler really feel the Jets' defense. And if the Jets can stop Mitchell Trubisky, who I think is a little bit better of a quarterback for the first half, they can stop Brock Osweiler. I think they should. Rangers won. Nets, Knicks, I'm pretty sure play this weekend. Nets play actually Sunday, so I'll cover those games on Monday. But since we're out of time. So, Nets, Rangers won, which is why I have my Rangers shirt on. And hope everybody had a good week. Hope everybody was enjoying watching the pods. Today, for the weekends, I will not do pods, okay? I do not. So, if you see me do not post a video on the weekends, I don't, okay? I don't. You probably need to be refreshed, because I have not done one in a while. So, I don't do pods on the weekend. I take off Saturday, Sunday, back Monday through Friday, then off Saturday and Sunday. So, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.